Welcome back to Mortgage Giants. I'm tall, he's taller. Let's talk mortgages. So something that has come up a couple times in our office is maybe a little bit nasty to think about, but builder timelines.
Let's call this the Halloween episode.
Okay.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Spooky, scary builder business.
This scares everybody involved.
Terrifying. Yeah, this is scary stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, you go to do a build, it's going to take time, right? It's going to take quite a while. So we get a builder rate locked in for a year. In these situations we're talking about, things get delayed for what reason we don't know. And now all of a sudden they haven't broken ground yet when we need them to. That rate is about to expire. And since rates have gone up so drastically in the last year, we are looking at requalifying them at 1% higher, maybe more, 1.5%. And now there's not only a question of do they still qualify, but also if we lose that good rate, how much are they going to lose over the next 5 years
In interest payments.
And what is happening? Like, why are we at the point where builders haven't broken ground a year later or 9 months later when it should have happened so long ago?
Yeah. And even like, so the example you gave, it's like we can get a year long. So the person writes a contract with the builder and the builder says, okay, estimated possession 9 months.
Mhm.
Okay, great. 9 months. Perfect. That puts you in for Christmas. Beautiful. Well, what we do then is we still get a year rate hold. You know, like we're saying, let's juice, let's add,
something always comes up.
Yep. You always want a little extra time. And really the banks that are doing extended builder rate holds are like a year or 18 months.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's like, okay, great. They're telling you 9. We're locked in for 12. Feel good about that? I do. You do?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Yeah. And now all of a sudden it's like we're 3 months away. We're at 9 months.
Yeah.
And they haven't broken ground. So like if you ask the builder, well, it's not their fault.
Right.
No. It's not their fault. It's the permitting department, and that's in some cases I think we all have heard the frustrations, the news, red tape is ridiculous.
Yep.
It really is hard on builders and developers to get things going, but at what point are they just stalling and focusing efforts on other projects, other communities, depending on the scale of the builder?
Yeah.
Other builders, if they're smaller, might just realize that they've misquoted.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to make a profit on that house, they might have to wait for material costs to come down.
Yeah.
They're holding on, hope that some of the major building costs are going to drop enough that their margins then increase.
Right.
Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, good luck proving that's what they're doing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. How do you?
Like, I had a local community Facebook group. One of the people on there just said straight up, I think my builder is gaslighting me.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like, what are my options here?
Yeah.
So we put them in touch with some lawyers, and they have to go through contracts and see what can be done. Yeah. So that's like, where do we want to start on this topic? Really, it's like, be careful who you're working with.
Yeah.
Established builders, they you generally know what they're doing.
Yeah. They
can absorb maybe the margins a little bit more than a smaller operation, a number company that has only completed a few homes in the past. It's a tough business, and unfortunately, some of the regulations on what goes into calling yourself a builder is easier than becoming a mortgage broker.
Right. Right.
It's seriously, you don't need a lot to call yourself a builder.
Yeah.
And actually, I think what happened in different sections of time, I'm speaking for Alberta, we're such an oil patch centered economy.
Yep.
A lot of people who have been employed in the patch, at one point or another, maybe got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
There's gas prices drop,
Yep.
like layoffs go through the roof, and now these tradesmen who are like skilled
Mm-hmm.
are looking for a way to support their families, and what better way than become a home builder?
Yep.
And
Build a
it's
home.
like, yeah, like, so there's a lot of that. I
Yep.
think that's caused some maybe reputational damage
Right.
to the industry.
Yeah. It just, yeah, I mean, over promising too many people, and
Yeah.
maybe because there's always going to be delays. Like, it never goes. I don't know of a
No, it's
single
super
build
hard.
that has gone perfectly from day one.
No, it's such a hard business, like
Yeah.
very challenging.
Yeah. But you would hope that they would build in some of those things into the timeline. I guess, though, if they take on too much and then too many delays on this project one,
Yeah.
pushes back project two, project three,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, for sure. So like, yeah, the main point I think too that you made was like, think about that for a second. A person got a pre-approval, a full approval, sorry, a year ago,
Yeah.
when rates were 1% or more better.
Yeah.
What happens if that person was at the top of their approval at that time?
Yeah. No, it's,
Think about that. Like, what do you think happens now? What are their options?
well, we got increased down payment,
Yeah.
lower purchase price, which builder's not going to drop their
Nope.
price, or you don't qualify
Co-signers, I guess.
anymore. Co-signers, yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't proceed with that purchase, and you say, I can't,
Yeah.
the builder is within their rights to hold your deposit,
Yep.
which you've given at least probably 5%
Yeah.
of the purchase price.
Yeah.
And then if they have to then relist it and suffer a loss, they could come after you for the loss
Yep.
based on what your original purchase price was to what they were able to sell it for. Legal interest, like,
Yeah.
there's some serious. It's very serious and very
And like
scary.
this would be like where, like the question you asked before, how do you prove otherwise? So yeah, you could get put in that situation, very well have a strong feeling that they did not do their best effort to get you into that home.
Yeah.
How do you prove it?
I don't know. We should get a lawyer on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to know some of those answers because I truly don't know. And then it's always the matter of cost versus possible outcome.
Yeah.
So it costs to go through legal action, and
Yeah.
it just, what is the best outcome?
Yeah.
If you don't know what the best case scenario is, and it isn't, we're like significantly higher than the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I just think that, like, going into a new build, I would
enter with caution.
And clear timelines. I talked to the builders about, is the land,
Yeah.
site ready? Is it where's permitting?
Yeah.
Are we breaking ground at this date?
Yeah.
Or like, how far away are we from knowing that exact start date? Those are some things that you can look into, I would ask.
And like, let them know. Like, for me personally, I wouldn't be mad if they told me up front that we wouldn't be able to meet this timeline, because then we can adjust at the time when it's the best to adjust.
Yeah.
If they say, oh, I don't know, like 16 months is probably when we'd be, it's like,
yeah. And I don't want to crap on builders, because like, they're not intentionally doing this,
No.
because like, they want that to close.
Yeah.
Like, they want that mortgage and that possession for that family to happen. But
don't promise 9 months though.
Don't promise 9 months. Like, if now we're 9 months in and you don't even have permits, like, that's not, something's wrong there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It's extra down payment to solve the gap.
Yep.
Co-signer.
Yep. Co-signer.
And that sucks, because then you're going to the bank of mom and dad, hat in hand, saying like, this is the situation.
Yep.
And yeah, it's not, not great.
We're not in a time where people have lots of excess money to create that difference in down payment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not. It's definitely not all builders. This isn't like a rampant problem.
Mhm.
It's but it just came up a couple times in our office
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
and it's just like, I hope this isn't a trend.
Yes.
I hope that these are isolated incidents. They're not the same builder. They're
Yeah.
not, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
But and especially now, like I hope that permitting, red tape, everybody's getting on board and really addressing the housing shortages that are
Mhm.
going on in Canada. It's like should be number one on all municipalities' lists.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of immigration that we're experiencing. That's an influx of people, and then like nationally, and then interprovincially,
Yeah.
there's a big shuffle going on, and there's nowhere for these people to live, and so there is going to be a big push for new development, new building, and I hope that permitting and municipalities are not the slow, the choke point
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
It should be labor, and it will likely be labor.
Yeah.
Not enough people to build the houses quick enough.
Right.
Like I'd rather have that be the problem than the bureaucracy of it all.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, that's another point too. Is like they talk about house prices and the cost of housing is a huge problem, especially in certain parts of the country.
Yeah.
Well, you've created such a demand that you're gonna green light 300,000 new builds and try and get those online as soon as possible. Well, if there's nobody to build them, or the crews to get a charging arm in a leg because their time is so valuable now.
Yeah.
That always gets passed down to the buyer.
Yeah.
Like it always gets passed down to the buyer. And that's why like builds, home starts, like these are all data points that are recorded and monitored very closely. You can have access to these online. Like the amount of housing starts fell off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So that lag is, a year, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Will be felt, and so this isn't a problem that goes away overnight or over the next year.
Yeah,
but they need to start building 2 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
I saw somebody online propose the idea that no taxes on building supplies if you're building homes to try and help this situation. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but like it's just so hard because now, okay, like so hypothetically, we remove all taxes on building supplies. So now handymen, like people start doing maybe just improving their homes, making their current homes more livable because a purchase doesn't make sense for them and and all that. But like, do you think Home Depot's not going to make a buck off that?
Right.
Like, do you think like, then we got to get the Competition Bureau involved here to say like, you guys are price gouging because there's a rush on, DIYers.
Right.
And it's like, it's just everything needs to be like just measured growth.
Right.
These gold rush boom eras like are not good. Like literally like the Klondike, like you're buying a shovel for like 2 months wage.
Right.
Because you got to get that gold out of the ground. You're not going to do it with your hands.
That's
so that shovel it's not a shovel anymore. It's like your ticket.
Yeah.
It's your,
that's the only way to get money.
Yeah. So, and that's just how it goes in these like weird incentives. It just creates these booms.
Yeah.
These rushes that I think you end up paying for anyway, one way or another.
Yeah, true. Some has to happen though, but
it does. It does.
It can't continue this way.
No. No, it's not easy. I don't have the answers. I do as much reading and follow a lot of really smart people trying to pull bits and pieces from, what to do. But unfortunately, I think we're in this for a little while.
Yeah.
The time.
I forget what state, but I feel like there's a state in the California area that tackled this head on by like zoning and being able to like, it doesn't have to be single detached family homes and like put a big effort in, and it had a huge impact.
Yeah.
I'll have to dig up the article and we can talk about it on another episode, but it made an impact and changed things drastically.
Yeah.
By changing that zoning.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is that thing that doesn't exist anymore that did in like the 80s, I think was the bigger time was purpose-built rentals.
Right.
When the government actually had a vested interest and was supporting rental builds,
Mhm.
so that there was access to people who weren't buying or
Yeah.
not at a stage in life where they wanted to buy but needed to rent.
Yeah.
So then we control the rental market by having inventory available. That's great.
Yeah.
But then the builders started to see the benefits of condo building.
Yeah.
And there's more money to be made in selling individual units at a premium than building an entire building. So then the
Right.
shift went to condo
Yeah.
builds. And I don't know, there was some crazy stat like that last time an actual purpose-built rental was built, in some communities. It's been like years, like
Right.
a decade,
Yeah.
So it's just all supply and demand.
Mhm.
I think that trying to control prices on anything with interest rates is just creating a problem down the road,
Yeah.
because you're creating a pent-up demand. And as soon as that interest rate drops, boom,
Yeah.
like you've got all these buyers now entering the market, and now prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
It's just supply. We need more supply.
Well, did you see that there was 3 guys who bought an abandoned high school and turned it into 31 different units?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Like we might need creative ways to help get out of this in the short term, because even if they implemented a change right now, it's not going to change right now.
No, and just construction is expensive, and like somebody was talking about, there was a big push on converting warehouses into industrial spaces to loft style.
Yeah.
And that was a big boom for a while, but I don't know the last time that actually happened, because after doing them for a couple of years, I think same thing. The developers were like, that wasn't the home run we wanted it to be.
Right.
It took more cost to make it work. So there's no quick, I don't, just like most things, there's no quick fix.
No, there's not.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's nice. I think that right now, I think just to wrap this up, is people are buying now out of necessity, more so out of boredom. 2021, boredom. Like people were going to take advantage of a lower interest rate, gain some square footage. They just wanted to change.
Yeah.
All that stuff. A lot of stuff made sense.
Yeah.
Now people are buying because their family has grown. Their family is, empty nesters. Like, it's out of more necessity.
Yeah.
So hopefully that slows this machine that we've built, where we just buy and sell real estate to ourselves.
Yeah.
And increase the prices to ourselves.
Right.
And like this, hopefully we can like get off that wheel, a little bit, and just stabilize some pricing and stabilize the needs and the wants, and get back to a little bit more of a balanced, hey, I'll take a boom. I'll take a real estate boom like next week, please. Like,
right.
Hey, I'm here. But again, I'd rather have the stability, that comes with gradual growth. Jobs get created, people come into our community, and the homes are there for them to buy.
Yeah.
Not this like, well, I want to go work there, but I can't afford the rent. The job doesn't pay enough. So then the employer says, well, I need that worker. I got to pay them more.
Yeah.
And wage growth and increase is one of the biggest contributing factors to inflation. So it's just, it's tough, man.
It is.
Economics is fascinating. We play a small part in it, but like, it's so deep.
Yeah. Very complex.
Super cool stuff. But
all right. Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. We'll see you next time.